Okay, so let's look at this. This is the AO. That's the alpha and the omega. This is the beginning, and it flips around to the end. You see this picture as a snake eating its own tail. Okay, because that's just the old picture of the Ouroboros. It's just a snake with his own tail, which represents a wheel. And the serpent, right? The serpent, the stuck together, can't get out. So let's look at the alpha and the omega. So here's the beginning, and this is the beginning of a cycle. Okay? It's the beginning of a cycle. Okay, so one cycle is a phase. You ever heard it when you tell your little kids, oh, they're just going through a phase. You know how many times you use electrical descriptions every day? Oh, she's going through a phase, or I'm going to charge it, or you better watch how you conduct yourself. This is how the system is set up. But see, here's the problem. There's a spiritual side to this whole thing. That's what people forget. It isn't just straight electricity. There's a spiritual aspect to this. So here's the alpha where it starts, and here's the omega. Now, remember I just did a video that started, they said that it started in 1997, and it ended, was it 97? No, it was 87, I think. I just did this not too long ago, and it ended in 2000, no, wait a minute, hang on a second, let me remember this, let me get this straight. It started in I might have to go back and look. Okay, so it was 1997 to 2016. I think that's like a 16-year cycle or something close to that, whatever. Okay, so I'm going to explain to you what time travel is. Okay, so here's the cycle. So this is between the years 1997 and 2016. So this is the gag that they're on Fox. They're using those dates and they're saying blah, blah, blah. So the first thing that people think between these two dates, what happened? The World Trade Center in 2001, right? It's not a specific event. What it is this works on the whole scale, all the way across from the smallest to the biggest. If we were to take this symbol here, and then we're going to make it, I don't know if I got this in the shot. Yeah, okay, I do. So then we're going to just make this, let's just say that this is the planet Saturn, and he's the dude putting off the cycles. Okay? So everything is resonating from him as a 369, 369, 369, right? Okay, and then every now and then there's some fucking blip or anomaly where it's not a 369, it's something else. In all of the movies that you see where somebody travels back in time, what is the one thing that they always do? What is their purpose? Their purpose is they travel back in time and they change something that they did. Because we all have regrets, correct? So they go back, the movie with Michael J. Fox, Back to the Future. Well, what does he do? He goes back and he corrects a mistake that was made. You're doing the same thing. What you don't understand is that you keep making the mistake because you don't know the cycles. You can't travel through time. What you do is you change the last event by reacting differently within the same cycle that comes back around. That stupid song by, and Dumb and Dumber. He said it's an old song, come back around again. It's a cycle. If you understand these cycles and you know what happens within those cycles and you narrow it down like Dave learned how to, then when these cycles happen and the energies or the harmonic frequencies affect your thinking ability, then you'll know how to react in a specific way, and therefore you'll change the past by going back to the future. But if you don't realize this, you're doomed to repeat the past because you will react exactly the same way that you did the last time the cycle came around. They know these cycles. They know them. They're not beating the system. They're just riding them. It's like, okay, example. Remember the video I showed you where the guy cut the top of the tree out and the vibration came back and just beat the dog shit out of him? Remember that Japanese guy? Okay, many times I've got smacked like that because that frequency that resonated up through the trunk of the tree after that top came over, if you don't catch it exactly right, you're going to get shook up bad. I mean, knocked nutty out of the tree, helmet's going to go flying, all kinds of shit. But there's those times when I catch that wave exactly right, and it's smooth. It's just like being on a swing. And then the energy dissipates, and then you're fine. Most of the time, I can get close because I've learned what the cycle is. And if I look at the type of tree and how long and what the diameter is, I learned that cycle, depending on the tree that I'm in, how fast that's going to resonate and how much it's going to throw me. So I learned how to adjust my body to absorb it. That's what time travel is. Traveling back in time is going back, looking at that cycle, understanding how you felt, what was going on. Go back to 2001, what was going on in your life at that time, and then changing that. Because now you're changing that old dude to a new guy, a new girl, a new woman, whatever. You're no longer stuck in the cycle because you know it. Your birth is nothing but a point of start of decay. You'll never travel back in time. You'll never, ever go back to when you were 5 years old and punch the kid in the nose that for the rest of your life it haunted you because you didn't stand up for yourself. It's all cycles here. And what all Jesus was trying to tell you is walk the center path. Don't get stuck on the high side or the low side. That's what they do to us here. You know that song by Edgar Winter, the mountain is high, the valley is low, and you're not sure on which way to go, take a free ride. That's the line between the high and the low. In other words, you're telling both sides, fuck off. I'm not interested. It's like telling Republicans and Democrats, I'm not interested in your fucking games. Get away from me. I'm not siding up with any of you cunts. You can't time travel. It's not possible because it just isn't the way it works. You're a body in decay. You can't speed up. It's not a movie. You can't go back. But what you can do is when you understand the cycles, you can ride that shit out. And these guys, they know the playbook. They know the cycles. That's why they printed that story on Fox News saying, oh, the 1997 to 2016 or whatever the fuck it was. Because what they're saying is that cycle, and they know in that cycle how things are going to react. This is how I've come to realize this stuff. They have a very ancient playbook on how things happen, so they learn how to write things out. That's why they know how to play the stock market. They know what energies are going to be up and what energies are going to be down. But there's a spiritual essence to this stuff. You're never going to beat this thing that we call Saturn. You can forget about it because it controls every bit of reality here. What's greater than that is the Father in you, the creation from the Creator in you that gives you the ability to understand things. Even animals, before a fucking earthquake comes or a tidal wave, them fuckers boogie. They get it. They know it. They feel it. So that's that. You're Back to the Future. You had to get up to 88 miles an hour. Well, what is an 8? Remember, Michael J. Fox had to get up to 88 miles an hour with that silly, stupid-ass movie. If he didn't get up to 88 miles an hour, here's an 8. And then we take another 8. If we were to take this 8, this 8 here, rotate it to the left, right? And then we take this 8 here. If I can make this correctly, what you would get is very difficult to do this. It's very hard to do this. What you're gonna get is if I could make these. Well, let me do it like this. Maybe you'll understand it better this way. The 88 miles an hour that he had to achieve would be this. There's one 8. Here's the other 8 on its side. And so what do you got? You got the same freaking symbol, right, that you've always had. It's just the same thing. It's if you want to change the past or you want to change the future, you have to go back to the past. And if you go back to the past and you realize what the cycle is, then you won't react the same way when the cycle comes back around, and therefore you've gone back and corrected the mistakes of the past. Is this making any sense to you? I know it's bizarre, but it's what it is. It's what it is. You're in a state of decay. You will never be able to go backwards, not 1 second. I want to show you something here. Let me see if I can find what I was going to show you. It's not majorly important. There's only one aspect of where time is actually mentioned in the Bible, where God actually set time on a time dial back 10 degrees. It's a biblical story. It's not overly important. You know, these cycles, what they're trying to do down here is they're trying to offset the cycles. I'm pretty sure that's what CERN is doing. They're trying to enhance certain cycles, and they're trying to offset by putting out drones, because everything here is of a harmonic frequency, and those drones are notes that will basically drown it out. That's what's going on with that. Man trying to play God.